Welcome to Center Stage at the Phocuswright Conference. Fantastic to have us all back together again. Wouldn't you say, Mitra?
It is really fantastic, and we are so excited about this event. It is the largest annual gathering of travel's movers and shakers. That's all of you, CEOs, executives, investors, and startups, and of course, our Phocuswright and North Star colleagues who are here, many of you from all over the world. This year is special for all of us because it has been 30 years since Philip Wolff founded Phocuswright, and we really think that's something to celebrate, right, Pete?
Yes. Let's give a round of applause for the 30th birthday of Phocuswright. So we thought it would be fun to kick off the event with a look back at 1994 and see what was happening in the world back then. There were so many memorable pop culture events in '94. Who could forget O.J.'s slow speed chase and the historic television coverage of the jury trial?
We were also blindsided by the death of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain, and ice skater Tonya Harding made headlines for all the wrong reasons for arranging an attack on her biggest competitor. There was also major happenings on the world stage. Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa, and the US hosted its first World Cup.
In entertainment news, Disney released The Lion King, Friends premiered on NBC, and Swedish pop culture group Ace of Base topped the Billboard charts. Some of today's most memorable stars were also born in 1994. And 1994 was also the year that Capital One, Amazon, and Yahoo were founded. Tech took center stage, and maybe one of the most important tech launches in 1994 was Netscape Navigator, which played a critical role in the early development of the internet.
Yes, things were exciting in the early days of the internet. The first secure online transaction took place in 1994, although there is some debate as to whether it was a Sting CD that sold for $12.48 or a Pizza Hut pan pizza that sold through a dial-up modem on PizzaNet.
And along with the birth of Phocuswright, which began as a consulting firm and events company to help travel, tourism, and hospitality businesses transform, 1994 was a pivotal year for other travel entities. Eurostar launched as the channel between Great Britain and France.
The first airline e-ticket was sold by Southwest Airlines. The first online hotel catalog, travelweb.com, made its debut. And the first hotel websites were brought online by Hyatt Hotels and Promise Hotel Corporation.
American Express acquired Thomas Cook's corporate travel organization in 1994 for $375 million, which is $1 billion in purchasing power today. And a Microsoft employee named Rich Barton pitched the idea of allowing consumers to book airlines and hotels on the internet to Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer. Well, we all know the rest of that story. It became Expedia with Barton as CEO. And you'll see Expedia's new CEO coming out on stage shortly after this intro.
And here is what is really incredible. Some of the people in attendance today were already making their mark on the industry in 1994.
I think I recognize analysts Robert Cole and Norm Rose. I am certain I recognize Phocuswright's Hall of Famers Ellen Kessler, Terry Jones, and Bob Diener, who have not aged one bit. Technology has also come a long way since then. What has stood the test of time is that the great foundational minds of our industries, Rod Cuthbert, Flo Lugli, Timothy O'Neill Dunn, and Lorraine Cilio are still supporting the next generation of travel entrepreneurs. Looking sharp there with the blue hair, Mr. Eric Blatchford. We are proud to say that Phocuswright has been with you every step of the way since 1994, and we've been busy.
This year also marks the 25th birthday of the first Phocuswright report, which I have here with me right now. It's called the Phocuswright Yearbook. Back in 1999, our survey found that travel ranked just behind books as the most popular item to buy online. And online bookings only accounted for 3% of total bookings back then. Keep that in mind when we share the current figures in just a moment. But look what hasn't changed. The report noted that the biggest challenges in 1999 were customer acquisition, service and retention, fierce competition, the influx of new players, and rising marketing and technology costs. That all sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
Sounds familiar. As you sit here in this hall listening to all the thought-provoking interviews and panels, as you learn about the latest travel tech innovations and hear from startups breaking new ground, and as you spend time with old friends and meet new ones, we hope you remember that you are part of something really special and really valuable for our industry, the annual gathering of the best and brightest.
And while we celebrate our history, we also have our eyes focused on the future. And of course, that since the early days in 1994, that has really been a fundamental tenet of Phocuswright. From day one, Philip Wolff stood out as someone willing to explore the unknown and to help all of us consider the what if. And that's still at the core of everything we do at Phocuswright. For our first event in 1997, the theme was "The future belongs to those with the vision to see it." Certainly a much more literal theme than what we might use today, but isn't it still true? It speaks to the fact that through our events and our research, Phocuswright has always tried to help you understand what's coming, even if it is a bit unbelievable from where we stand today.
This year, our focus is captured in the theme, "The New Agents." Travel distribution is being truly upended as new players and paradigms exert their influence, and the tussle for control over content, the customer, and their allegiance reaches a new level of intensity. And much of it is being fueled by technology that is evolving and improving, and in some cases, shocking us almost every day. In the next 2 days, you'll hear from travel leaders and innovators from around the world on how they are setting themselves up for success in this new age, where distribution is being disrupted, technology is empowering consumers in ways we've never seen, and of course, artificial intelligence in all its forms is challenging the entire customer journey.
It's really an incredibly exciting time for the travel industry. Listen to some of these figures from Phocuswright's latest global travel market report. In 2023, the global travel industry finally surpassed pre-pandemic levels, expanding 24% to $1.5 trillion. And it's predicted to reach $1.8 trillion by 2026. Also, Phocuswright forecasts that by 2026, online channels will make up nearly 2/3 of total travel bookings globally, with Europe and APAC leading the way. That is a far cry from the 3% in 1999. Overall, supplier websites and apps are the main source of online bookings, but OTAs have a big lead in the hotel segment. For all travel segments, 61% of bookings online were made via supplier websites and apps in 2023, but specifically for hotels, it's the OTAs that accounted for 63% of gross bookings.
Many of you already started with us yesterday for the Startup Program, the Young Leaders Summit, and more than a dozen roundtables and breakout sessions. And now we kick off our center stage content. As you know, if you've been with us before, this room is where you'll have the opportunity to learn about some of the critical issues from across the travel industry. Things like loyalty, investor sentiment, the booming experiences sector, marketing, and of course, AI agents. And as always, throughout our program, you'll also hear from executives from leading companies like Expedia Group, Airbnb, Sabre, Priceline, Amadeus, and many more.
At Phocuswright and Phocuswire, we also pride ourselves on our work around travel tech innovation. uncovering, analyzing, sharing, and celebrating the people and ideas that are helping to drive the industry forward. Last week, Phocuswright published its list of the Hot 25 travel startups for 2025. You see their logos up there on the screen for this year. It's sponsored by Allianz Partners. This is the 7th year for the list. That's 175 startups, if you're counting. Many of those founders from past years, as well as the new 2025 list, are here with us today. Let's give them a hand.
And speaking of innovation, of course, we'll have the launch program later today where 11 innovative companies will share new product launches in our fast-paced pitch-style format.
We'll also have some Phocuswright research presentations that you don't want to miss. Later this morning, our Director of Consumer Research, Alicia Schmid, will present data from our Travelers and Tech study. We won't give it away, but what percentage of US travelers do you think are now using generative AI for some aspect of their leisure trips? Be sure to be here at 11:30 this morning to find out if you're right and much more about how consumers are using travel tech. And of course, along with generative AI, social media is a hot topic for all of us. Tomorrow, our Manager of Research and Special Projects, Madeline List, will share data from our in-depth study on social media usage for travel. For example, did you know that 62% of people who used social media for trip planning made a purchase or visitation decision because of content they viewed on those platforms? Be here tomorrow to hear much more from our comprehensive consumer study.
This year, we are excited to welcome 1,500 attendees from 40 countries. We asked you why you attend, and 47% told us networking and making new contacts. 36% join us because you are interested in attending sessions and learning. And 30% are looking to develop strategic partnerships.
And for those of you who are really interested in attending sessions and learning, we have put together 12 hours of the most thoughtful program of any event in our space, completely driven by our incredible team of analysts and editors.
And when Mitra says completely driven, you will not see any sponsored content on center stage. For those of you interested in networking and strategic partnerships, we have curated over 16 hours of organized small group networking activities, offering you an organic opportunity to connect with individuals that are likely to share common interests with you, so you can grow your business, generate new product ideas, develop connections, and move your business forward. We also subscribe to the theory that you will be more productive if you have some time to improve your wellness. Hopefully you have found some time to enjoy pickleball, yoga, or our morning runs. And wellness also applies to our environment. And for the 7th consecutive year, we are proud to once again be carbon neutral. This year we are offsetting almost 3,500 tons of carbon.
And of course, we hope that you will share your experience that you are having here in Phoenix with everyone on social. If you scan this QR code, or if you look in the event app under My Photos, you'll see that you can upload a selfie, and then automatically any photos that you are in will be sent to you so that you can share them.
This is an incredible app, so take your time, take out your phone, scan that QR code, and you'll see pictures of yourself from around the venue. I'll give you a couple of seconds here. And of course, if you need anything else, ask me or Mitra, or any one of the colleagues pictured on the screen. They're wearing the Phocuswright name badge. And now, let's get started with center stage at the Phocuswright conference.